Guys, how's it going? I want to show you this project here. This is my 1990 Dodge Ram D350, and I'm going to be doing a Hydroboost conversion on it. So I'm just going to try to document it the best I can. I mean, there's some videos out there on it, but I don't think that there's any that are really showing, you know, how everything goes together really all that well. Guys just kind of glance over it. And if you're not super familiar with stuff like this, like I am, it's just kind of hard to wrap your head around stuff that you don't really understand. So I think having a visual cue for everybody to kind of go by would be pretty helpful. So I'm going to learn right along with you guys, I guess. So we're going to be replacing this vacuum assist brake booster assembly with a Hydroboost, and I'm also going to be replacing, I have the older style vacuum pump. This is a diaphragm style, so I have to go to the rotary style that's on the newer Rams in order to get the power steering pump that has the extra return on it for the Hydroboost assembly. So if I'm understanding it correctly. So we'll have to replace this here and this assembly here, and from what I've read, everything goes pretty smoothly, but really the only question is the plumbing side of it. So that's what I'm going to hopefully be covering fairly well. So I think I'm going to start with the brake booster assembly. From what I've read, the holes are really close, so we just have to waller them out just a little bit, and this should fit right on there, the newer one. So we'll see how it goes. Alright guys, so what I've done so far is I've got the lines disconnected, and what I've decided to do is take some red zip ties on everything that I disconnect, so that way it's kind of a little, hey, look at me, you've disconnected me type of deal. So got the two brake lines from the master cylinder. A vacuum hose goes over to this. Don't know what that is. This looks like, I would assume, to be the main feed line, or the main vacuum line, and it went straight to the booster here. This guy went to that fitting underneath there, you can't really see. And then this one here, I'm assuming powered the HVAC controls. I'm not entirely certain, but it went on the front side of this guy right here. Pop that off. So got those lines disconnected. Now I think I'm ready to go ahead and disconnect this from the brake pedal assembly and remove those 4 nuts on the back side, and this guy should pull right on out. So let's get going. Okay. Easy does it. There she is. Alright guys, so we got these two assemblies kind of sitting next to each other here. The brake booster next to the new Hydroboost unit. So, you know, one thing you'll notice is it is a more compact, and that I think is going to be pretty nice. As far as about how far they stick out, I'm going to say that this probably is going to stick out maybe a scotch more than the other one by the time you get it mounted up there. This here, the back of this, does have a slight angle to it. It's kind of hard to see. This one here is straight up and down. So I'm just kind of giving you guys an idea of what we're looking at here. The hole pattern that people are kind of showing, you know, so this one here, this is 3 and I'm going to say 3/8 to center. 3 3/8. And then here, I'm going to say that's 3.5. 3.5 is what I'm reading. So 3 3/8 and then 3.5 there. This, the new Hydroboost unit. Let's see what we got. Settle down now. 3 3/8, which that's awesome. So 3 3/8 there. But then this one here, this is 3. Is what I'm seeing. 3 inches to center. So that it's close. It's close, but I think it is going to make a bit of a difference. So we will have to waller out those holes a little bit. We'll see. Alright guys, so I kind of have this propped up in there right now. As far as length, I think we're going to clear everything pretty nicely. But we are seeing a bit of an issue here on the holes. So we're just barely started in those top ones. And I'm sorry guys, and that is where we're at on the bottom holes. So we are going to have to enlarge those holes quite a bit, or maybe even just slot them a little bit to allow for some adjustment there. Alright guys, so I just wanted to show you about how much I had to really kind of waller those holes out in order to get that Hydroboost unit to fit on there. It's definitely not what I've heard is to be a bolt-on application. You know, I've heard that a couple of times from different people. Definitely not. You do have to waller those holes out a fair bit, in my opinion. But it does fit on there. I went ahead and hit it with some primer and some white paint to touch it up a little bit, keep the rust from forming there. Okay guys, so that looks pretty good. I got this mounted in there. Clearance issues, I don't see any for right now. Everything's looking pretty nice. I used some zip ties off of my oil catch can to prop it in place while I got in on the inside and tightened up my bolts on these studs on the mounting plate back there. The brake pedal is in almost the exact same position, so that's awesome. Really, this is great. The issue I am seeing is that obviously our brake lines are different here than what we can get into here, so I'll have to probably get some adapters at the store tomorrow. Everything is closed right now, kind of late, but it looks like everything's going to match up pretty decently as far as this goes. So I mean, we're doing pretty good. Okay guys, so I think I've got some good stuff going on here now finally. So both these hoses are factory hoses. From a 97 to 02. That's where the hoses and this guys, so I think I'm all tidied up here. Everything's been bled. I'm not sure where I left you guys off on the last part. It's been a week since I last filmed, but I've got everything all plumbed up, I do believe. Ran a vacuum hose up to here, had to get a special universal T, and got it fit to this guy right here, which was the factory vacuum hose that went to the HVAC unit, I do believe. So that's been hooked up, and then that T runs down along here and goes to this port on the vacuum pump itself. One of the big things was that there's a fuel, or not a fuel line, but a oil line that goes to the bottom side of that vacuum pump, and that part is out of stock for a couple of weeks. Can't even see it down in there, sorry guys. You can see where it ties into the block though. There's a port there on the block that is an oil feed for it. So I got that all plumbed up, had to make that hose. You can order it, I think it's about a $75 or $80 oil hose. I went and had it made. You have to take some measurements and know what's going on there, but it was about 55 bucks. So saved myself a couple bucks, and I got it way faster than 2 weeks, so I'm happy with that. Everything is working properly. Brakes feel good. Power steering is feeling good. So so far, I mean, everything looks good. I'm just gonna throw my back tires back on because I took those off for brake bleeding purposes, and we're gonna go take it for a test spin. So you guys don't hear back from me. Awesome. That was a pain in the butt. A lot more work than I thought it was going to be. Really cleans up the engine bay quite a bit though. A lot more space here. I mean, it looks nice. So all in all, I'm pretty happy with it. Just like I said, a lot more work than what I thought was going to be involved. But we'll take it for a test spin and report back.